Hey everybody, this video is part of our full-length The Onside Kick podcast. You can find that on Blog Talk Radio, iTunes. You can pretty much find it anywhere, so we don't care where you listen. Just stick around and check it out.
We're going to wrap up the show moving back to the AFC, talking playoffs, and Mark, I'm going to get right to it. Can the Chiefs beat the Patriots in Foxboro? It's been a big topic all week so far. All week, everyone's talking about the Chiefs and the Patriots. Chiefs and the Patriots. They're going to meet. Can they win in Foxboro? What do you think? KC in New England, who wins?
New England. I mean, you go with the history of it. You really do.
And Brandon and Sean, are going. They went ham on this Christmas night, basically during the Chief-Bronco game. One's a Chief fan, one's a Patriot fan. I don't know about you. It was just fun to look back and just watch them go back and forth.
Well, I look at this team and I'm like, okay, cool. Even though I like Alex Smith, even though I like Andy Reid, I don't like Andy Reid that much, let's be honest. But, even though I think they got a lot of good pieces, and I would love to see Kansas City get into the playoffs because it's something different.
Well, they're
I would
in the
love
playoffs.
that. I mean, Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because it's something different. The New England Patriots, the better quarterback, the better running game. Their receiving game might not be better. They've got the better. The weird thing about the Patriots is their defense. I don't want to call it better because the Kansas City Chiefs, they got a good defense, but teams don't score against the Patriots.
They have an elite defense.
Yeah,
that's what the Chiefs have.
So these two teams match up very well. I just think that Tom Brady can pick apart the team a little bit more.
See, I think that this game is going to, if this game happens, it's going to come down to the Chief offense versus the Patriot defense. That's where this game is going to be won or lost because Tom Brady is going to have his plays. He's going to have his moments against the Chief defense. However, this Chief defense is also going to have their moments. It's what you get when you have a great quarterback going up against a great defense. And I know Brandon was talking to me on Monday before we recorded the Primetime podcast, and his big thing that he was trying to get Sean to see was that Tom Brady, yes, you can say he's the greatest of all time, he's the best quarterback, but if he was really all holier than thou, he would have never lost a game, would have never lost a Super Bowl. He'd be just, Tom Brady's going for it. It's an automatic win. Win. Like, his big thing was anything can happen.
Oh, for sure.
Especially when you have a great quarterback playing a great defense. Yeah, any given Sunday. But for me, it's that Alex Smith, Andy Reid offense against that Matt Patricia, we talked about him earlier, and Patriot defense. And to me, I don't like him whenever he's on NBC Sunday Night Football, but Chris Collinsworth had a good point. I have to give him that. And this Chiefs offense is really, once you get their two main weapons going, they get Tyreek Hill on the outside, they get Travis Kelce over the middle. Once they kind of play that two-man game, bing, bing, boom, boom, here we go, then they're successful. That's the thing that the Patriots would have to do.
Yeah.
However, the thing that I would kind of shift the advantage over to New England side is they have the best head coach in football, and a coach that I say he's the best because he is the best at making adjustments game by game, play by play in order to win games.
I mean, Andy Reid is no joke as a coach. He's a very, very good coach. That's the thing about Kansas City, I feel like. The thing for Kansas City is they have a lot of really good parts. They have a lot of good players, coaches, and all that. I just feel that New England's are just a tiny bit better in a lot of places. And
I think the offensive, besides LeGarrette Blount's a different kind of back than Tyreek Hill. I think the offensive weapons are different, but I would give the weapons on the side of Kansas City, maybe because they're more explosive. I know that Sean's all up in arms that Malcolm Mitchell's he's one of the best wide receivers. He's all right now. He's doing some good things, but let's not over pump and put Malcolm Mitchell on a pedestal.
The big thing for me when I look at it is New England scores, on average, New England is going to score more points than the Chiefs. And the Chiefs' defense is going to give up more points than the New England defense. So when you already have a team that doesn't score that much offensively, going against a defense who gives up the fewest points in the entire NFL, why do we think that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be able to beat the New England Patriots? They don't score points, and the New England Patriots don't give up points. Well, how are you going to win? Guys, John Madden is here, and he wants you to know that you win the game by scoring more points than your opponents.
Whoever puts up the more points wins the game. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and the Chiefs aren't going to do that against the Patriots.
I mean, hey, look at the other side. The Chiefs, I mean, the Chiefs only give up 18.9 points per game. So it's not like we're looking at a team that gives up.
And the Patriots only give up 15.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they give up 3 more, and that could be how close this game ends up being.
But at the same time,
at the end,
it's also interesting to note that it's a 3-point difference on the points scored. So it's 3 either way. 3 either way, which is a little bit interesting.
Yeah, but another thing, and I look at the Patriots schedule, and this is something I mentioned when we did our predictions. Their schedule's, I thought it was easy preseason. Now looking back and seeing how teams have actually been, it actually hasn't been that hard. I mean, the Texans haven't been a great team. Yeah, it was only a 2-point win over the Cardinals, but you got that win with Jimmy Garoppolo for a Cardinal team that hasn't been good this season. I mean, Miami early on was still transitioning to Adam Gase. Yeah, you lost Buffalo, but that was a Jimmy Garoppolo game. You played Cleveland. Cincinnati hasn't been the same. Pittsburgh, I'll give you, that was a tough opponent. Buffalo, you got Tom Brady back and he won. I mean, Seattle, I'm surprised they lost that game. I thought they should have won it. I mean, Seattle was a tough opponent. But then after that, San Fran's not a tough game. New York's not a tough opponent. You blow them out twice. Denver's not the same team we saw last year. And the Ravens, although they gave them a fight, the Ravens are not an elite defense and not a good enough team. That's why they're not in the playoffs this year. They just weren't able. They haven't been the same Baltimore team that we've seen in the past. So really, I'd look at this Patriots schedule and I go, maybe that 15 points is a product of the weaker schedule that they have played.
I don't think Kansas City's schedule is that difficult.
Oh, I'm not saying like Kansas City's the toughest schedule in the NFL. I was just looking at the Patriots. And
but if you're going to make that argument, you got to make the same argument for the Chiefs.
You look at the Chiefs, and I mean the Chargers. They're a team that has blown away leads, and really that's how you won week 1 in overtime. I mean, you lost to that Texan team that I just basically said
was not that good.
You lost to Pittsburgh, better team. Oakland, great team this year, and you beat them twice. You beat Atlanta. I mean, Denver, like I said, hasn't been great. I don't know how this team lost to Tampa Bay. Both of these teams, like Jacksonville's been an easy game, Carolina's been an easy game, the Colts easy, Saints easy. Both of these teams have not had the toughest of schedules, but both of these teams, the Jimmy Garoppolo Buffalo game, the Seahawk game, the Tampa Bay game, the Tennessee game, both of these teams had 2 games where it's like, how did you lose that game? The only difference is the Chiefs lost to a Texan team that, I mean, they should have probably beat, but then they lost to a Pittsburgh team that Tom Brady did beat.
So to me, it is a good situation of, hey, this is why we play the game. We got to see which one of these teams are better. These 2 teams, I'm thinking it's a 1 and a 2 seed, so I don't think there's a good chance they might not even see each other. Very real chance they don't ever see each other.
Well, and I mean, if they're the 1 and the 2 seed, I mean, let's play out the season. So you're saying Chiefs will win, Raiders will lose.
Correct.
So that would mean New England would be 1, Kansas City would be 2. I mean,
Pittsburgh's 3.
Houston's 4, Oakland's 5, Miami's 6. That's
Correct.
what we're using for the sake of argument. I think that the Steelers can beat the Dolphins, although the Dolphins I will give a chance, but for the sake of argument, we'll go with the Steelers. And I'm going to give it to the Raiders. The Raiders, Texans, though, whoever walks in.
For the sake of the argument, it's not going to make a difference.
It's not going to matter because Kansas City beats whoever walks into Arrowhead. It all comes down to then, should we be talking about maybe the Steelers being able to win in Foxboro?
Yeah.
Because they would play in Foxboro. I mean, I would pick the Patriots to win, so we would still see Chiefs-Patriots in Foxboro, but there could be a chance we see
I might be tempted to
Chiefs in Arrowhead.
I might be tempted to take the Steelers in that one.
I mean, a rematch of a game we saw earlier, but it was at Heinz Field, not Arrowhead.
And it's another one of those situations where they're going to be a team that matches up really well to New England. And, and I'm not starting to say that Kansas City is going to get blown out by New England. It'll be a tough game.
I just
think that New England's a little bit better. And this is an exact same situation with Pittsburgh. I think that Pittsburgh is a very good team, much like New England. I think they would compete and match up against them very well. Difference being, I think that the offense in Pittsburgh is going to compete a little harder or match up a little bit better, I should say, with Tom Brady than the weaker passing attack, the weaker running game that Kansas City is going to put on the field against them. They're going to match up very well against New England.
And the one thing I will say, and this is kind of my last thoughts on the Chiefs and Patriots, I like this Chiefs team. I think, if we were going back to the same thing we talked about in the NFC, basically my two teams that I like the most, you notice how I said Packers and Giants in the NFC? I like the Chiefs and the Patriots coming into these playoffs.
Basically.
It's the opposite. It's the top. And this Chief team I like more than the Patriots only because of that defense. But, man, when this offense gets going, they get Tyreek Hill going on the outside. They get Travis Kelce going. Travis Kelce single-handedly picked apart that Bronco defense last week. He did whatever he wanted. They put him in zone, he beat him. They put him one-on-one against the linebacker, he beat him. They put him one-on-one against the cornerback, he beat him. He had his way with that Bronco defense. That is why I like the Chiefs. This explosiveness and kind of the momentum that they are building heading into the playoffs. I think we are set up for a Chief-Patriot AFC title game in Foxboro.
You guys might remember from a long, long time ago, my AFC champion was the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I got to ride with the Pittsburgh Steelers still. I think they have a very good chance of going into New England and winning that matchup. I could see a Kansas City team hosting Pittsburgh for the AFC Championship. That's what I could see happening. Who wins that one? Ooh, I don't know. That's a tough matchup. That's a harder matchup to predict than New England and Kansas City, I think.
And the one thing I want to mention before I wrap everything up, one thing we are going to do here at MVP is after Week 17 is done, every single member of Most Valuable Podcast is basically going to March Madness style pick their playoffs. We will post them on the individual Twitters.
Do the bracket, predict the whole thing.
Dave's will probably be on the Most Valuable Podcast page because, as you guys know, Dave don't tweet. And we are basically going to have those out there. Also, watch our Twitter page because one thing that we'll probably do is we'll see how you guys match up against us. And how do we do that? Well, we're going to put out Twitter polls all day, the Monday, basically Black Monday, because that's what coaches will get fired. That Monday following the season, there will be a ton of polls, basically for a few hours so that we can get all of those set up so that we can get kind of the MVP fan bracket going as well. So be on the lookout for that. Check your Twitters. Hit that little, is it a bell on Twitter? I think the little bell to make sure you get the notifications when we send out those polls from our Twitter page. But I want to thank you guys for checking in. If you're a Chief fan, let us know down below what you guys think. If you're a Patriot fan, let us know what you guys think. If you're not and you're just a football fan, let us know what you think down below in the comment section. I want to thank you guys for either watching us on YouTube today. If you downloaded us from Blog Talk Radio, thank you for the download. Make sure to check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. I want to thank you one more time for either listening or watching. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And don't worry, there is plenty more where that came from. You guys can check it out right over here. Click that video, start watching it, and just stick around on Most Valuable Podcasts.